So when the Kennealy campaign dropped their internal poll numbers to the Herald the other day that said Governor Healey in extremely vulnerable position ahead of 2026, I was like, I never take any credence with any internal poll numbers leaked. You cannot believe, and I will not cover your internal poll numbers. Leaked internal poll numbers are garbage. Garbage. Not interested. What this story did tell me, though, was how eager the Kennealy campaign is to clear the decks so that there's no primary. In fact, if you look deep into this article here, it says in the poll memo, Shortsleeve's time at the MBTA has faced a myriad of profile high issues is fatal to his potential candidacy. And they're trying to link Shortsleeve to DeSantis. And I actually think that both of these candidates are flawed. Of course, every candidate's flawed. We're all flawed. Every one of us is flawed, right? We all make mistakes. Which reminds me of the famous joke, best told by Barney Frank, actually, where he used to say, hey, I once voted for the perfect candidate, but when I came around for re-election, I had trouble with my own record, right? Right, there's no perfect candidate, but I believe both of these candidates have serious problems. One is that Brian Shortsleeve used to run the MBTA for a time under Charlie Baker. Now, even if, and let's just stipulate for the moment for discussion, even if his time running the MBTA was awesome, and even if he turned it around, that's going to get lost in translation. Even if he was the greatest MBTA manager of all time, that's going to get lost in the details. And they're going to hang the MBTA on him like an anchor. Yeah, that is not a good legacy to run on. Conversely, Mr. Kennealy wrote the MBTA Communities Act. It's his baby. Now he's tried to backpedal and say, oh, no, this came from the legislature. Okay. It's his act. And the MBTA Communities Act is incredibly unpopular with Republican voters. Incredibly unpopular with Republicans. Plus, Kennealy also worked for Baker. So they both worked for Baker. Both worked for Baker. Not a good look. Not a good look. You can look deeper into this article here where the spokesperson for Shortsleeve, who is yet to declare, said Kennealy's campaign is obviously experiencing a failure to launch. And he was the chief cheerleader for the MBTA Communities Act. So now we have a primary going on, effectively, between these two top candidates. Mark Lombardo, who has endorsed Shortsleeve, even though Shortsleeve has yet to declare, said this later on yesterday. Healey is extremely vulnerable. She should be. Mass Republicans need to choose the right candidate. Mass Republicans will never nominate a never-Trumper like Mike Kennealy, who is the godfather of the MBTA Communities Act. Wow, that is harsh, especially coming from the camp of a candidate who hasn't even declared yet. So shots fired, figuratively, between both of these camps, Kennealy versus Shortsleeve. Jack, is Michael Kennealy a never-Trumper? Well, there's this video floating around that has him on video saying he didn't vote for Trump. Ooh, that's not good. You want to win a Republican primary. Now, remember in Massachusetts, independents can choose a Republican ballot. So it's just not the Republicans that are picking, but you definitely have to go through a whole Republican Party vetting process with the convention and the delegates, and that's a whole process prior to the actual primary in September. But let me tell you what I'm sick of. When I look at, let's just pick Mr. Shortsleeve for a second. This is his X bio. This is his X page. Nice guy. I met him only this once. He's following me. Oh, I don't know how that happened. But he's got 576 followers. Okay, good for him. He has not posted since March of 2018. How many years? Somebody do the math. 7-8 years? 2018. He hasn't posted since 2018. So he's a fairly wealthy guy. I don't know who is richer, Kennealy or Shortsleeve. They're both fairly successful people. But Shortsleeve hasn't posted since 2018. I am sick of these people that are rich showing up out of the blue and saying, I'm your hero. Whether it's John Deaton or Mr. Shortsleeve or Mr. Kennealy or that other Minogue guy or whatever his name is, Shortsleeve hasn't said it. Has there been nothing to say since 2018? If you and all of a sudden you're the leader, you're our spokesperson, Mr. Shortsleeve, you haven't said anything. Oh, Jack, he's saying it elsewhere. Okay, but X is, or Twitter is, the number one platform for political news and political discussion in the world, and certainly has been that way at least since 2018, if not since 2010. And all of a sudden, you're running for governor. Or almost running for governor, and all of a sudden, you're the guy. Where's the track record of you speaking out on the issues that we're concerned about? Now, I could say almost the same thing about Michael Kennealy, because Michael Kennealy, other than his activity on X in this month, in the month of April, prior to the month of April, he had not posted until May of 2023. He had 2 years. 2 years, Michael Kennealy had 2 years to say something on X. Didn't say anything. Shortsleeve went many more years than that. And most of what Kennealy posted in those years were kind of just fluff. But, and what, again, the other guy, Minogue or whatever the hell his name is, just and God knows if that candidacy is ever going to happen. But who? Okay, so you've got a big paycheck. I'm reminded of that famous Shania Twain song, right? Right? You've got a, how does that go? So you got a big bank account or whatever. Who cares? What do you stand for? And can you actually articulate, which obviously I'm having a little trouble articulating, can you actually articulate our point of view? Can you show me a track record where you've done that? No, neither of any of these three guys that I'm mentioning here can do that. But they can write a check, and all of a sudden, they're our heroes.